Do you know who Magnus was? Of course, that's why you clicked on this video. He once played a chess match against none other than Bill Gates, founder of Microsoft. Here is a picture of the game in action. This video will go over that game and some details about it. Let's start. Bill Gates started the game with pawn to e4, and Magnus responded with an uncommon first move for black, the Nemtsovich defense, knight to c6. White played knight to f3, and Magnus proceeded to play d5. Now here what you should be doing is either take the pawn or push it, as if you don't, black will simply take the pawn, and defending it isn't a great move. What white does here in this game is dubious. It's not a great move. White plays bishop to d3. Now this does the task of defending the pawn, but black can now simply play knight to b4, attacking the bishop. And if white does something like, let's say, castles, then black can just take this, and white's pawn structure is absolutely destroyed. These doubled pawns in the center of the board aren't doing any good to white's position, and on playing a move like, let's say, c6, if white takes this pawn, white has doubled isolated pawns, which is never a good thing. Well, usually not. So Magnus doesn't play knight to b4 for reasons he best knows himself. He instead played knight to f6 in this position, putting pressure on the pawn. White responds with e takes c5, and Magnus takes back, not with the knight but with the queen, which is slightly better. Bill attacks the queen, and Magnus moves it to safety. Now from here, white needs to develop this bishop and castle. Usually white would move the d pawn and develop the bishop here, but since white put the bishop on d3, a plan involving fianchettoing the bishop on b2 is probably how white is going to proceed. So here white castles, which isn't the best move. It's not horrible, because the black queen is here to attack the king, and if white just castles into that attack, it won't be that great. Magnus plays bishop to g4, pinning the knight. White attacks the bishop, and here Magnus uses a tactic called a hook tactic. He plays knight to e5. Now this is a blunder. What he probably should have done is just taken and ruined white's kingside pawn structure, doubled isolated pawns, and another isolated pawn on h3. This pawn structure won't be that hard to attack and pick apart, but instead he plays knight to e5, which Stockfish deems a blunder. So if white takes, Magnus will take back with the knight, and will have checkmating ideas on the h file. That's his idea. So white takes the pawn, and black takes back. Now white is completely winning if Bill Gates finds the move rook to e1, because black's current idea is if white plays like a random move, white will take this, and then Magnus will simply checkmate white. That didn't happen. What a white should do here is move the rook to get space for the king. Now if black takes and Magnus goes for queen h2, then you can check again, but white is completely winning. The king is somehow safe on e2. It's like an extremely delayed bomb cloud. So what actually happened in the game was Magnus took the pawn with the knight on f6, and Bill Gates blundered a mate in one. And Magnus won. Now to give a little bit more background for this game, in this game Magnus played for or on a certain TV show, and it was played on 25th of January 2014, so that was around Magnus's peak. And Bill Gates, the player who was playing white, he made a funny comment afterwards. He said, "I'm just a Bill," indicating to how he missed the checkmate and he isn't really anything special in the world of chess. Okay, that's it for this video. On now, Magnus destroyed Bill Gates in less than 10 moves. Goodbye. Game over.